In this video today, we play as the good old Kingdom of Italy in a world dominated by radicals. Our friend Bonomi, way better than Mussolini, he'll lead us to greatness through the esteemed establishments that have led civilization to endure all these years, not this crazy stuff like accelerationism and communism. Us and our good old chaps in the UK and Russia, we know what's best. And I guess America too, for now. In this timeline, we have quite the colonial empire. We got a lot more of Africa than just Libya. Unfortunately though, Fiume is independent and in an alliance with France. They're not in Croatia, they're not part of us. It's not led by any pirate king or something though, which is unfortunate. I prefer a Fiume led by a pirate king, like in that last series. But we will triumph over France and Fiume and all the others eventually with our good ideals of anti-radicalism. And we definitely won't fall to radicalism in the process. No, that would be insane. We have standards here. But I have to admit, the country that scares me the worst out of all of them is Poland. For some reason, accelerationist Poland is extremely frightening. I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't really know for sure what exactly they're doing with the accelerationist ideology, but for some reason this mixture of Poland leading a faction and being accelerationist is extremely frightening. Like this is a global calamity in the making. And unfortunately, accelerationism, the plague, has come to Madagascar. There goes any hope for sanity. Yeah, this is unfortunate. And a crisis of conscience. Bonomi, Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Italy, and informal leader of the left wing of the United Democratic Party, gazed out at the crowds milling through the Piazza del Popolo. He took a long sip of his espresso. Ah yes, a fine drink indeed, unlike the evil witch's brews and I don't know. Our great PUDI was created to stop the extremists. However, corruption, cronyism, and cynical manipulation are infiltrating our ideals. I guess it's better than accelerationism and communism, but still. My friends, for a party that calls itself democratic, the practices within it are disrespectful or even insulting to the term democracy. For 12 years, this party hasn't lost a single election, not just because of our fervent opposition to radicals from left and right, but because of the wide range of people it appeals to. This party brings together political factions that would oppose each other if we were in, let's say, the United Kingdom, or Sweden, or any other still functioning democracy. Many of you refuse to see this, but Italy has become a one-party state for the sake of anti-extremism. What has it achieved? It has only allowed for corruption and cronyism to grow. Now, following the speech, there was an uproar. Okay, yeah, it doesn't look good for any of us. Okay, we gotta stay careful here. We can't become France or Poland, but we can't become the bad guys either, because as you all know, I only play as the good guys in HOI4, so if we become the bad guys, I would just have to Alt F4, because it's impossible for me to play bad guys. Ridiculous. And the coalition collapsed. 'Tis our fate. All is still well, though. We may still yet survive. We haven't become accelerationists quite yet. Nah, those scumbags, the accelerationists, so if they infiltrate us, then all hope is lost. More than a single tear would fill my eye if accelerationists walked through the streets of Rome. And time for an election. Francesco Nitti here is a stalwart of radical liberalism. That sounds... Wait. But if we become radical liberals, then wouldn't that mean we're technically radical, like the radical people that we are opposing? Wait a second. It's different. It's completely different, though. This is just radically believing that the other radical ideologies are too radical. Yeah, that's it. And now we're led by Francesco. He looks pretty chill. He looks like someone I would have a burger with. Yeah, he's the kind of person we need leading all the countries, not crazy people like... Wait. Since when did he lead Germany? Well, and the state of Austria that we were guaranteeing has been torn into a civil war with radicals on both sides. Also, as we examine our current situation, we have nice deposits of chromium, which means one thing. We should invest into heavy Chad tanks. This is the only option. If your country has chromium, you're legally required to do this. And we have a lot of military factories. I'm actually going to do something kind of out there and not build artillery today. I usually always build artillery for my infantry, but not today. We're just gonna build heavy tanks. I know, it's kind of radical, you could say. Japan also became communist or vanguard socialist. Unfortunate. I pray for their souls. The Accelerationists are starting a civil war in Spain. Okay, we're sending help immediately to the Spanish Republic. Hopefully they accept our volunteers. Okay, yeah, this is good. Oh, we need to stop the Accelerationists. They can't spread anymore. And I made this encirclement here all by myself. The power of radical liberalism. And now we have the bread. This is an example of an ideal focus. This is a good focus. I appreciate the naming convention. It's great. Oh, and now for the meat. Oh, it just keeps getting better. Whoever made these focuses is a genius. And The Hobbit is published. Ah, yes, I want a copy of it now. Great event. And we made another encirclement, another victory for radical liberalism. And the newest numbers are in. Our current economic state is the same as it would have been if we had 5% growth per annum since 1931 without any crash at all. This is truly remarkable. However, we can do better. Wait, why does the Prussian Congo exist? And they have a focus tree? What? What is this mod? Anyways, we're dealing with the Mafia, arresting crime lords. And at long last, we have enough army experience to start making our Chad tanks to long last. We'll just give him the right icon, and then, yep, we can add them in. Yeah, and all the divisions for the Spain we were fighting for are gone. I don't know what happened to them, but they're just not present anymore. Either way, it was still a glorious showdown of how our radical liberalism is that good. Well, and even though I said I was going to be radical and not make artillery, it appears they started us off with divisions with artillery, so I'm not gonna remove the artillery, of course. That'd be a little crazy, maybe a little too radical. And through our focus tree, we got this decision to get some research bonuses for armor technology, so we'll immediately do that. And then in 20 days, we'll save up some of our research bonus here, and then we will start researching heavy twos. If we can get those in 1 year, then that will be a great advantage to fighting France or Fiume when they eventually declare on us. Revolutionary anarchist? And I thought you were gonna be a bastion of centrism with me. And we're not getting any warning or anything, but I'm happy I checked Fiume's focus, because they are doing a focus called Draw, which says they declare war on the Kingdom of Italy, which would be good to know, but I guess I got lucky and checked, so yeah, well, we should be ready for something. And since I put all my military factories on tanks, except for a few on planes, we have a decent amount of Chad tanks for, I think they're 30 widths, but they'll be 40 widths by the end of the war. So we'll use them to outmaneuver our French enemies. They're heavy tanks, so they're slow, but they'll be pretty powerful. Okay, this is not going very well. The French have a lot of divisions somehow. I don't know how the French have so many divisions. And our navy uses so much fuel that our tanks are literally worthless. We're gonna have to dramatically downsize our navy, yeah. Yep, and that anarchy thing in the United States didn't last long, luckily. Also, I like Lovecraft's New England, a nice nod to Kaiser Redux. Oh yes, and France, corrupted by their radicalism, made the genius decision to declare war on Germany before finishing us off, even though we were pretty well defended and probably wouldn't have capitulated. Okay, well, this is very good. They refused to literally move a single division off of our border, so Germany just capitulated them, and now all the French divisions that are still in Fiume are surrounded. Well, kind of. They still have like this corridor thing. Well, the French have been routed in France, but I guess this is all corps, so yeah, we need to take this too. Their surrender limit is very high, and this is perfect. Of course we had to work with the communists to get here, but we at least saved some of France. The only unfortunate thing is that Germany has 5 times the amount of military factories that we do, which is Not good. We might depend on Poland to help us out a bit. They've at least become social democrats, so they're at least somewhat closer to the center now. We'll take out a few other people along the way though, just to become slightly more powerful. And we still have some interesting stuff to do, of course. But yes, that will unfortunately have to wait till next time. So I guess I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all then.